starting with 0, 0 or 0, 2 or M0, 2. I will study all of them right now. Is that clear? All the files starting with 0, 0 and 0, 2 and M0, 2, study all of them. So this is one of the files which you have to open up and look at it and study and know. That's it. If it's too easy, you can skip it. But if it's not too easy, then you better know it. All right? It's all here.
All right, thank you.
All the files which I open up in our class, it's all under file. It's all under file. Okay? And I have a very strict number system, so you can see the number. And I also have the list of the topics as well. Although many of the file numbers, you just have file number, not the topic, but again, you have access here. It's all there. And by the way, in this class, I don't take any recordings, but I do take screenshots. Okay? Sorry for those who are absent. You know, there's so much media out there, so many videos out there. I don't think you need another video. Okay? So I don't think I can make a better video than those videos which are already out there. So you know what? That's the reason. The math is all math. So I'm not teaching anything unique here. You can find in the internet. You can find everywhere. But I'm here to help you master the material. Okay, so now we have this. So now example 6. Find a constant this, and this polynomial is divisible by k plus 3. So what they're saying now is we want to find the value k so that polynomial is divisible by x plus 3. So now here's the term divisible. I want to make sure that you understand what this divisible really means. So here, to explain that, let me write it this way. How about this example? Here, number 1. Can 7 be divided by 2? And second question I have tonight is this. Is 7 divisible by 2? So here are the two questions. So first question, can 7 be divided by 2? What do you think? If you have $7 and you have 2 people, can $7 be exactly divided to 2 people? If you have $7 and you have 2 people, can the 2 people exactly share the $7?
Yes.
What do you think? Yes. If you have 7 apples and there are 2 people, can the 2 people share the 7 apples exactly? Yes, we can do that. And of course, the answer is, of course, can 7 be divided by 2? Yes, we can divide. All we have to do is we have 7 and then divide by 2, and then we get 7 over 2. So we can divide 7 by 2. So the answer, can 7 be divided by 2? And the answer is actually yes. And if we actually divide, then the result is we get 7 over 2. So can 7 be divided by 2?
Question,
the answer is yes. Yeah.
Would you like us to use synthetic division on this?
Example 6?
Yeah.
Sure. Synthetic division is the way to go because the divisor is this guy right here. It is a linear x minus or plus number. So in this case, we want to use synthetic. You should use synthetic because the long division is much longer. You're right. Yes. Okay, now I'll get to that. But now let me answer this question first. Is 7 divisible by 2? Yes or no? What is the answer to the second question? Is 7 divisible by 2?
No.
The answer is no. So let me tell you what this term divisible means. When it says divisible, this is what it means. So here's the meaning. The meaning of this divisible means divides with 0 remainder. That's what it means. No leftover, in other words. So let me just say, and by the way, let me say 0 remainder instead of no remainder. Because when you say no remainder in math, it's confusing. No remainder could mean 0 remainder, or it could mean some undefined remainder. Okay, so that's why you have to be careful here in math. So in this case, divisible means it divides with 0 remainder. Okay, so now let's look at it. How do you do this? So let me show you how you do this. This is the way it goes. Solution by synthetic. Now, when you have this here, don't be scared because there's a k there. K is now a parameter. So when you have this expression like x cubed minus 5x plus k, treat this k like a number. Don't do anything different. Is that clear? So when you do example 6, you should do it the problem like example 5. Example 5 has no parameter, and example 6 does. But the way you approach the problem should be the same. Example 5 and example 6, there should be no difference. But I know some students, as soon as they look at the k, they get scared. Not all students are scared of primaries. However, in this class, as you will know, my specialty is putting a lot of parameters everywhere. So you have to understand, okay? So when you have a letter like k that starts like this, and it says constant k, it's not changing, so we don't know what this k is. But our job is to find the k so that it's divisible. So this is what we do. So in this case, what we do is apply synthetic division. Let's do it. So that will be this right here. Okay, let me just change my color to black. So that will be 1, and then a 0. Don't forget the 0 here, because it's 0x squared, and then minus 5, and then k. And then we are divided by x plus 3, so it looks like we need to put minus 3 here. So this is now the setup for synthetic division. Any questions here up to this point? Does anybody have any questions up to this point? Say no.
No.
No. No, okay. If you have any questions, again, you know what, and let me tell you this one more time. In my class, you can always interrupt me. All right, is that clear? So if you interrupt me, that is not impolite. I actually prefer you to stop and just interrupt my lecture. Of course, everybody, you don't interrupt me too many times here. But you know what? Interrupting me, once or twice or 3 times or a few times, that's okay. All right? Because I want you to get it. So don't just let me just flow and go all the way. So now we are ready to apply synthetic division. So this is now 1 minus 3. So the actual synthetic division takes no time. Minus 3, and then 9, and then 4, and then what? And then is what? And then minus 12. And then this is now k minus 12. Again, the important thing is that so when you do this problem here, the important thing is that we do this. The important thing is just do this. Just do the division here. Don't do anything weird. Just do the division, and then the important thing is treat this k like a number. And then this will be the remainder. So what is k? Now we know what the k is.
12.
What is k?
12.
K is equal to? K is equal to 12. So in this case, what is it? 1. Remainder. Remainder equals 0. So that means k must be 12. That's what it is. And so if you just write k equals 12, that's the end of it. That was the problem. Now if I go more, what does it exactly mean? And so what that means is this right here. And so we have what? We have x cubed minus 5x. Oops, you know what? This writing is not working properly. Minus 5x, and then plus. Now you can write plus k here, but now k is 12. Oops, sorry. So I'm having trouble with it. Then this is now 12. So this is 12 here, and then you know what? Let me erase this. This is 12. If you divide this by x plus 3, what we are saying is that this guy is actually equal to what is equal to this right here is x is what is x squared, and then plus x squared minus 3x, and then what? Plus. Let's do that. Oops, what? It's not writing properly. So x squared minus 3x and the plus 4. And by the way, we should have a remainder. The remainder should be this, right? So let me write this in yellow. But maybe I'll write this in, how about this? Maybe I'll write this in yellow. I guess, I might be the only teacher. I might be the only math teacher who is using a yellow, right? Plus 0 over, and then x over 2, x minus 2. So am I the only math teacher who is using yellow? By the way, in this class, sometimes I will be writing something in yellow, all right? So if I write something yellow, don't be angry. Why? Because if I write something yellow, what does that mean? That means you don't need to write and you don't need to see. That's what it means, okay? That's what it means when I write something yellow. So it's actually x squared minus 3x in the plus 4 and then plus 0 over x minus 3. But because it is 0 over x minus 3, that is 0, so you don't have to write. Now, if you do write plus 0 over x minus 3, that will not be a penalty. There is no penalty for writing that. But of course, you should not write it because the simplest way to write is not writing anything. And so you should write it. But anyway, the remainder 0, that's what it is. Now, let's say you have done this problem here, and now you want to check. What is the good way to check this division here? Now, are you going to go through the synthetic division again? If that's what you do, then that is what I call a procedure check. You check your work by looking for mistakes. That's what I call a procedure check. But in this case, I do ask you to check in a different way. Generally, when you check your work, it is better to check your work in a different way. So now, how do you check? The better way to check is this. Let me write this here. Let me write this. How about this? So we see we have this right here. How about if we write this divided form into a different format? So this is the divided form in a different format. We can write it this way. Let me write it this way. This is equal to x cubed plus 5x, minus 5x, and then plus 12, plus 12. Oops. 12 right here is equal to, and then let me write this. This is equal to x plus 3, x in the plus 3, and then times x squared minus 3x, the plus 4. So if you look at this box right here, if you multiply both sides by x minus x plus 3, what do you get? If you multiply both sides by x plus 3, this is what you get right here. Actually, you get, let me write this in yellow, x plus 0. If there was a remainder, then you would just have plus 0 here. So that plus 0 here, so you don't need to write. But if you have any remainder here, like plus 7 over x minus 3, that would be plus 7. So let me just write down yellow. So basically what we have is this division form right here. This is what I call the division form. Division form in rational form. This is the division of rational form. And this is what I call the division in polynomial form. It's all, in somewhere. Some of the parts. But anyway, you can write it. Now, how do you check? Now, when you check this here, we want to check whether we did the division correctly. What do you do? We want to check this side. Now, how do you check this side? What is the best way to check this side? We're not going to division. We are going to multiply this. Multiply this guy out. Multiply this guy out. Multiply this guy. So, check by. It's a check. Check. The right hand side. I call this the right side. Right side, let me call right side. Right side is equal to, now this is what, x plus 3. And then times x squared, then minus 3x, and a plus 4. And then you multiply the things on the right side. And yes, of course, I need a square there. And you can multiply this out. I don't think it will take that long. Will take about a minute to multiply, and then you know what? Let me just do this for you. Let me multiply this out. This is going to be what? This is going to be x cubed, x to the third power, and then this will be minus 3x squared. Then let me erase this stuff right here. And then what's in the plus 4x? What is that in the plus 4x? Plus 4x. So that will wrap up the x. And now we have to multiply by plus 3 here. So now what we want to do is plus 3x squared. Plus 3x squared. I'm going to write it underneath the x squared. So underneath minus 3x squared. And then now what? And then 3x squared, there was minus 9x. So minus 9x, there minus 9x. And then plus 4. Then what we do? We add. We're adding here, we're adding. So all this we're adding. When you do that, we get x cubed. And then 0 here, and then minus 5x. And then minus 5x and then 12. But, you know what, just 12. And now finally we get this, and this is in fact the right side. Oops. You know what? Let me write this 12 a little bit better.
Professor, since here the question is find the constant k, we would just have to stop after we find k, right? We wouldn't need to write to do all the check everything, right? On the quiz.
Yes, all this stuff is actually checking. If you don't want to check it, you know what? Final answer to this problem, you know, let me just write finishes. And this guy here is actually what? This guy is actually the left side. The left side, let me put L here. L for left side. That's what I wanted. Writing is not getting right. So now again, you know what? All this stuff is checking. The final answer is actually k equals 0. This is the final answer right here. Because it says here, find the constant k such as this. So all this stuff which I wrote in black or brown, they're not required. Okay? So k equals 0, that's it. But what I am letting you know is, for whatever problem you do, I want you to check. And once you check, the game is over. You're not going to come back to this problem again. Again, in math, I don't want you to check your work when you have more time left. That's not the way to go. So when you have time left over, then you check. No, that's not what I want. That is not a good thing to do. I want you to check and get it over and clear the case and never come back to the problem. So once you check this much, you'll never come back to this problem again because then everything checks out. But again, here the final answer is k equals 0. This is actually the final answer. At this point, and by the way, this problem is relatively simple. There's really not much to check here. And so, you know, that's it. Is that okay? Of course, I can say this. Find the constant. I can change the problem here. I can say find the constant k such that this polynomial is when divided by x plus 3 has remainder 10. I can give a form like that too. Then that case you have to make an adjustment. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, you know what, is it time? Yeah, it's already time. There are much more material I would like to go over, and I would like to, you know, make comments on many more files here. And so what I'll do is let's take a break. Anyway, it's time for a break, so I think we have time. I would like to take a break each day somewhere around like 9:40 or 9:45. That's when I want to take the break. So I think that the time now is 9:44. Is it 9:44? Well, my cell phone says 9:43. There's a 1 minute difference. So let's now take a break. So we have a 10-minute break. Oh, let me write this in red. So let me 10-minute break. Let me write this in red. 10-minute break. 10-minute break. Continue at what time? 9:45. Okay, so let's make it 11-minute break. We'll meet at 9:55. Okay, all right. So we'll have a 10-minute break.